Sorry, I'm trying to put me in a place where I'm not like taking up too much view. Anyway, but you know how mostly the majority of the cast has now been spotted in Wilmington and filming has started. We've seen them film at this sort of bar-like situation. Apparently the other day they were filming in a hospital. We saw Laurel's car, and then we also saw Jeremiah's car. So all these people have been spotted, other than a very major person, which is Chris. Conrad. Where the hell is Conrad? And that made me think, which this doesn't usually happen, but I was like, what if they're actually filming in the particular chronological order of the actual book? So not necessarily chronological order of the, you know, the series of events that happens post season 2, but actually of book 3, and you don't see Conrad for ages in book 3. And I was like, what if Jenny is doing that on purpose? And so the actual moment in the show where Conrad and Belly see each other for the first time, that in a way is going to be the first, like, legitimate first time that the two actors as those two characters, or as Belly and Conrad, will see each other for the first time. So it will be, I mean, obviously it won't really be for the first time, but it will just be so organic and so much more, you know, like pent up, and that like raw emotion of seeing each other for the first time and what that means and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, what if that's what's actually happening? Like, they're filming in the order of the book, which is, as far as I'm aware, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I didn't think the show did that. I thought they sort of filmed all over the place. And yeah, actually they do, because, you know, Jenny said that they, in terms of those scenes on the beach, like, they filmed that scene, you know, of Conrad and Belly just before they, you know, slept together for the first time, but they also filmed that huge, you know, I thought you knew scene for the first time. So they definitely do film out of chronological order, but maybe for season 3, they are filming in chronological order. How many times can I say chronological order? Anyway, just wanted to like pose that as a potential theory. I'm probably wrong about that, but I do think it's interesting how we haven't seen Chris unless he's being very like secretive and just isn't being seen. I did think in this particular, not the picture of Rain, but the other fan picture of them in Target, I did think that was Chris like right on the side, but it isn't actually Chris. Yeah, so I think maybe that could be the case, maybe. Anyway, regardless, it's super exciting that everybody seems to be back from filming. That filming has started, and yeah, I guess it will be really exciting when we do see Chris for the first time. Forgive how bad this lighting is. I tried so many times to move. Anyway, to make it better. Anyway, yeah, when I heard hospital, I immediately thought Conrad, because he's going to school to become a doctor, but then why, yeah, would he immediately be in a hospital already in terms of the stage of like him going to medical school? But that could be what it is, and that's why we haven't seen Chris, because he's only been filming on set. But yeah, I guess in the book we never really see, and again, it's because it's primarily from Belly's perspective, and we get sort of like short glimpses of Conrad's POV, but it could be that one of the POVs is from him being on placement, or I forget, there's other terminologies, what you do as a medical, like an intern, I think is what it's called, when you're like first starting into the medical field. Anyway, but then he did say that whole thing about he wants to go into the research side. So, but I guess research, I'm really showing my ignorance here. You would still be on site at a hospital potentially. Anyway, it is kind of abnormal, or like just odd that they're at a hospital, because yeah, there isn't hospital scene per se in the book, but yeah, maybe it has something to do with Conrad, or maybe it's a flashback to Susanna's death, which would be awful. And I don't really know why we would need to see her in a hospital, because we really got a lot of that emotional payload or payoff in season 2. Anyway, but it could be that, so Susanna flashback, or maybe somebody's volunteering at a hospital, so we think it has to do with the hospital itself, but it's just that somebody's being, you know, picked up from the hospital because they're volunteering, and then they're going to go to Cousins or whatever it might be. Yeah, But you aren't forgetting anything. They aren't at a hospital. Nobody's at a hospital, specifically in book 3. But it could be, I mean, it made me think of Conrad right away. So it could be that we get more of Conrad than which I guess would make sense too, because obviously we get more of the other characters in the show than the book. So that is what it could be. We're just seeing him, seeing what his life is, separate to Belly and separate to, you know, his mom and the summer house and all that kind of stuff. So that is what it could be. But does anybody else have any theories? Love to hear them.